Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, peeps and seeps, welcome back to the Mac Life, the #1 podcast here in the world. We're back for episode 144. Now, if you're new to the channel, we go over absolutely everything to do with growing your brand online, monetizing that brand, OnlyFans marketing for creators, and OnlyFans management. So how to manage girls' OnlyFans account and make some money. As well as that, business strategies and stratagems. I'm adding in absolutely everything to do with my collection of learnings throughout my time as an entrepreneur, and basically give these to you to help you shortcut your way to success. Now, if you don't know how I do these videos, I do them in podcast style format. So essentially, this isn't just here on YouTube. We're on Google Podcasts, we're on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're on absolutely everything. So I do these in a podcast style format where me and you, we get a little bonding time at the start, and then we get into the OnlyFans juice towards the end. And today we'll be focusing on how much can you realistically make on OnlyFans, and I want to break that down to a time horizon. So your first year, how much can you make your first year on OnlyFans? And I'm gonna show you the 5 things you need to do to earn this much money. And if you do these things and you don't earn this much money, I would be thoroughly amazed. I haven't seen anyone do these 5 things and not earn 6 figures a year. And we have Hive members, we have over 500 Hive members now that are doing this, earning 6 and 7 figures inside the Hive following these strategies. So if you follow these 5 things and you're not earning 6 figures, I'll be thoroughly amazed. Now, we have a few little updates, but today's going to be a little bit quicker of a video. There's not too many updates because I've got to run. So the first update is that. Okay, I'm heading to a big family lunch. I have all my family here for like a pre-Father's Day thing, and then tomorrow we're doing something as well. But I have all my family up here, so I have to smash out this podcast. I woke up a little bit late today. For some reason, I just forgot to set my alarm last night, and I don't know, I just slept in. So it is what it is, but I'm up, smashed breakfast, still stuck with the routine, got everything else done. Still here, putting in the podcast, putting in the work. I could have easily, very, very easily looked at it and said, you know what? I'm already rich. I'm already wealthy. I don't have a boss I have to call. I have no pressure. I could just skip this. I could just go to family lunch. But I didn't. I showed up. I put in the damn work. Here we are. We're putting in the fucking podcast. Because I cannot preach consistency. I cannot preach tenacity. I cannot preach putting in the work if I'm dipping under that 80-20% principle that I talk about so heavily. If I'm not putting in, and I'm not showing up at least 80% of the time, then there's no point. There's no point. So let's get this damn work. And that leads me into the next point, which is that as you start to scale a business and you start to make more money, you'll encompass problems that complexity brings. And essentially, when coming up with solutions, there's no point inventing short-term solutions for your company that are only going to help in the meantime and won't help at scale. There's no point doing these things. And that's why I think, email hosts and stuff like this, they're so effective, because they say, look, while you have a list of 100 people, it's free to send 100 emails. After that, we charge you this. After that, we charge you this. After that, we charge you this. They're relying on the fact that they're going to assist you, and as you scale, they've already solved the solution. They've already solved the problem for you. You already know it's profitable in terms of ROI, so you stick with them, and then they make more and more money over time based on your success. And one of the best books that I read was The Best Customer Service is No Customer Service. And when developing the Hive, I essentially said, I do not want to have to check with my teams on customer service. I do not want to have to check with things. So I removed all the need for customer service. If you are a customer of mine, you are inside the Hive mind. Meaning the only customer service would be for Hive members. Meaning they have access to the Hive mind. Meaning you can chat with the community. Meaning when I check in, I can chat with people there. And I can have moderators inside the Discord. There is no need for customer service. Plus, it means that my business has to become better because everything is transparent. Not many businesses are willing to put all their customers inside a Discord. Okay, not speak to people like Nike, speak to these big companies. They would panic if you were to say we're going to put all of your customers inside of one big chat room. There would be utter chaos. So it forces your business to get better, but it's also a problem that as scales, it can be handled all within that one place. And so you really need to set the parameters from success from the start. And that's about choosing the correct rowboat rather than rowing harder. And I've pushed that point a few times now, and I want to continue to push that point because it's very, very important. And that's why the OnlyFans business is the most lucrative and easy to succeed in all of today's businesses. I said easy to succeed in. I didn't say you don't have to put in hard work. Okay? I just said it's a very, very easy business. It's lucrative. What the steps you have to follow are simple to succeed. That doesn't mean the workload you should put in should be easy. So if you're a creator and you're complaining, I work 8 hours, 10 hours a day on this business, fucking congratulations. You're still in the highest leveraged opportunity vehicle that exists today. You're selling titty pics for hundreds to thousands of dollars. Super, super simple. So I want to recap as well the 4 pillars of leverage. And no one left comments yesterday about the 4 pillars of leverage. You better be listening and you better be writing down the 4 pillars of leverage with examples. Hive members do it inside of the Hive. And I want you to understand what I'm currently leveraging at the moment or working on is software. So we're setting up the system inside of Kajabi that will essentially allow members to, as soon as they sign up, they'll be instantly invited to Discord. They'll have to use that email address, and it will all be connected rather than trying to figure things out. And people use different names on Discord. So at the moment, having a person track each individual thing is hard. And there's going to have to be some sort of loss that takes place during the cleanup. I know I'm going to lose some Hive members because of the fact that even some may have been floating by or sneaking in or missing payments, certain things. We have a pretty tight system already. But with the software, software has no emotions. So if you're missing payments, you're out. Like you're going to be blocked. As soon as you miss a payment, you're blocked from chatting until that is rectified. And if it attempts a few times and can't bill you, you're instantly wiped. And as I said, Hive members that are removed, we do not allow re-entries into the Hive because of the value that's inside that community. I've watched people enter the community with nothing and go from nothing to 6 figures. I've watched people earning 6 figures go to multiple 6 figures. So the Hive Mind is the most powerful community for Onlyfans, for making money online, YouTube, Instagram. We're only in the beginning stages. As I say, we're at the end of the beginning and we're moving into those next stages. So on top of that, the Onlyfans 2.0 that's coming out inside the Hive is going to be massive. I've been basically working on the controversy marketing at the moment. There's going to be a detailed guide, and nowhere online talks about this in detail, is marketing using controversy. Like nowhere talks about how to do this successfully. And since I've applied it and I've applied certain controversial methods, and even I could improve on what I'm doing currently, the growth of my business has 10x'd. My revenue has 10x'd in the last couple months. It's insane. So, I can only imagine. Another update. See, I'm smashing through them today. Really disappointed with the IG verification people. It was meant to happen that I said 1 more week. I give them 1 more week all the time. Then it's meant to happen Monday. I made him 100% guarantee. You've seen the text that I put out in the previous podcast. And then the message I get back is, bro, I didn't say we're going to submit Monday. I said I'll let you know by Monday. And I just replied I'm out. So what do you guys think? Should I just submit myself? I pretty much have all the details and data that I need. I think I can submit myself and have a pretty decent chance and just can these guys all together. I'm feeling like it should be done because of the fact that I've given them multiple chances. This was meant to be a 2-week thing. It's become a 3-month thing, and it's still unprofessional. And more than unprofessionalism, I hate lack of accountability. When I said to them, look, it's been 3 fucking months, they said, yeah, well, when we needed things ready, you weren't. Accountability. People lack accountability in today's world. And that's why I can tell, if I was to speak well, imagine how much business, if they had done things correctly, they would drum up just from my YouTube podcast and the Hive. If I was to say, look, these guys are fantastic, done within 2 weeks, done this, done everything they said they were going to do, this, and I pump that out to the Hive, if you're looking at 15K, say, and let's just say it's 15K a pop, you're looking at even 10 referrals, which I could easily provide them, is an extra $150,000 in business. And it's for a business that essentially has no cost other than time. So they're looking at an amazing amount. And then imagine the referrals from those people, and those people, it's quadratic in nature. People that are sloppy at business and poor at business do not succeed long term. And that leads perfectly into the second last point, which is you want to look at business long term. I call it I've put a label on it. I call it the Joe Rogan method. He started off, by bumming his way into the UFC. And if you listen to his story, he just said, Dana White asked him, hey, do you want to commentate this? You already know about martial arts, and a dude's not there or something like that. One dude didn't show up. So he was like, sure, I'll commentate. And he stayed on, and he eventually built that persona and built that while building his own podcast. And then built over 50 years to become the biggest podcast in the world and sold, okay, the rights to Spotify, and that's not obviously his only income stream, but sold the rights for a particular amount of time to Spotify for $100 million. Think about that. You're earning pretty good money, and then you get, boom, a sellout deal for $100 million. That's the long-term play. That's the Joe Rogan play. That's the fuck you money. So that's how I want you to look at business. I believe this podcast will become maybe 3 to 5 years. I continue to put in the dues, and then after a while, maybe branch out to bringing on other guests that are also doing money. But, I want my credibility to be like that I built the podcast to 8 figures a year, to where my podcast alone turns over 8 figures. It's making 10 plus million, so that when I reach out to people and they go, I reach out and I'm in almost a position, not a position of power, but I can reach out to influential people and be like, look, my podcast already turns over 8 figures a year. I have a very, very valuable audience. I would love to get you on and share your insights. And then I can branch out and start to interview other people and aspirational people that I want to speak with, like Tom Bialau and all these sort of people that have built billion-dollar companies. And we'll get to that stage. And this podcast will become one of the top-ranking podcasts in the world. And if not the top podcast in the world for certain things, for marketing, I believe 100% we will take over that. We'll interview so many marketing specialists in different realms. We'll take over number one spot in marketing. Maybe definitely in OnlyFans will be the number one podcast related for OnlyFans and probably e-commerce as well. There are many things that will be ticked off over time, and just excited to be working on it every single day and getting better. The thing that I also need to find time to make sure that I'm doing is investing the hour each day into improving the podcast, because from the feedback that I've gotten, you guys like this style of podcast. You don't want me to cut camera angles. You don't want me to add in the stupid editing. You like them raw. You like them fresh. You like them organic. No other podcast offers this. They all have the mics up in their face. They all have the studio lighting. And in fact, my friend's moving up to Newcastle, and my cousin, so I'm going to set up a home base with these guys, another place up here in Newcastle. And then while I travel, I'll have a home base. And we're going to set up like almost a funnier style podcast of just the three of us combined. We're completely different personalities and completely different in terms of wealth and success. And it will be good to just like almost have the inflow of conversation between the three of us, because I am very go-getting. I'm very pushy, especially on my friends and my cousin. And you'll see, like, I'm very, you cunts need to be doing this. This must be done if you want to be successful. My mate is the most laid-back, chill dude in the world. And then my cousin is, he follows, and I believe he will be successful financially too. But it'll be good to have the different dynamics of conversation as well. Plus one, my mate is real dorky into games and shit. And my cousin's real sporty. Like, he could tell you what's going on in fucking women's NFL this week. He knows every sport. So the dynamic will be good. We're going to set up that podcast as well. And we'll do that one professionally, and we can gauge the difference over time. So it'll be a pretty cool experiment. We'll get all the nice Logan Paul looking fucking top-down lighting, the orange lights, the big wooden table, the proper mics, and the multi-cam angles. So we'll set that up. And we want a TV so that we can do like reaction-style videos, like a big drop-down thing. So, yeah, I'd be cool to finance it all and set it all up, and it should be fun, whether we do it in the house or whether we, like, so it's easy to access, or whether I maybe rent like a commercial building and just set up a podcast studio there. Depends on where I see it going. So anyway, that'll be exciting. That's something else. We're going to add in an additional podcast. So when that comes out, I'll let you know the name of the channel, and we'll also build that out. Last point that I want to say before we get into the OnlyFans content, hit subscribe, is vanity metrics. Don't trust vanity metrics. I look at creators on YouTube they have 500, 600k subs, and then they show off how much I made on YouTube, and they've made like 40k a year. And whilst that's nice to make 40k a year, my podcast is just as it is like this. We've only got 4k subscribers, and I am turning over an extreme amount compared to other creators. When they show me their monthly earnings, they don't believe that I earn as much as I do for such a small following. And I'm pretty transparent. We already have, it's 500 and something US. It fluctuates because of day to day, and I upload different amounts of videos. 500 something US reoccurring a month that I hadn't even factored in. So you look at that, and it's, like I said, it's moving quadratic in nature. That's already, 6-7k US a year more, I think. 512s are 6k, 50, It's something, it's like 6 or 7K a year already coming in from YouTube, and that will just keep compounding. And like I only have 4K subscribers, so this is why you don't trust vanity metrics. You know, you look at it, the big channels with 600, 700,000, they're only earning 40, 50K a year. Something doesn't add up when you look at my channel that's already earning this much. So I can only imagine a little bit from now how much money we'll be fucking raking in. You will all be amazed. So, let's get into the OnlyFans content. As I say, today's a quicker podcast, so we're getting straight into the value. And it's realistically how much can you make. And the timestamp we're going to put on it is in your first year. Okay, so your first year. But I really want to hammer down this thing into you. Your year starts from today. And you will not succeed on any of these 5 points unless you have one additional thing to begin with. Okay? So I want you to go, if you're actually going to be a creator or a manager in the OnlyFans business, from the day you start, I want you to get a little board, set it up, or a piece of paper, and write down 365. And every single day, you need to mark down 1 day for the entire year. And if you don't follow these points every single day of the year, okay, you cannot complain when this doesn't work. And so you've clicked on this video with the intention to make money on OnlyFans or see how much money can be made in a year. I'm telling you, if you want to make 6 figures in your first year on OnlyFans, to do these 5 things. I have not seen anyone do these 5 things and not make this much money on OnlyFans. So the only tangible is that you will not put in the work, which means you lack consistency. Keep yourself accountable, write down 365 and tick them off every single day. If the method works and it's worked across multiple people, and I'm about to give you the exact same 5 things that they utilize, it's only you who can decide if you really want to make this much money this year. And doing this method will not only make you 6 figures, okay, or has the strongest chance to make you 6 figures. This isn't financial advice, but it will set you up for the strongest chance to make multiple 6 figures the second year and then build up into 7 figures. What the fuck is that pulling up? So, let's get into these 5 things. The very first thing is you need to dedicate 10 hours a day to working. And if you're like, oh my God, 10 hours a day, that's more than my normal job. If you're working a job at the moment where you're doing a 9 to 5, you're clocking in somewhere else, this is 10 hours of sitting in your fucking house. Doing it from within your house. Drinking a coffee, having a fucking finger bash, tugging yourself, whatever it is that you want to do, sitting up in a robe, enjoying fucking lunch, eating ice cream while working. You do whatever you want. Fucking watching fucking Netflix reruns while working. I don't care, as long as you clock in the 10 hours. Obviously, it's going to be better if you don't do a certain amount of those things and you actually focus on your work. But let's just stick with the one habit of clocking in your 10 hours a day from home. You do this, and I guarantee you, you have the strongest chance of becoming successful online and making 6 figures. Now, the second thing that you need to understand is that you need to charge a premium. I talk about this in every single video. You need to charge a premium. $100 for content, multiple hundreds of dollars for videos, okay? You need to charge a premium. If you're charging $10, $15, you're making the mistakes I made my first year in business that capped. And remember, in the first 6 months of me successfully selling things online, I might have been 6 months, maybe it was 5 or 4, it was somewhere around that. I went from making 0 money online, losing money, trying to test out ads and all different things, to figuring out Facebook Marketplace. And I made $38,000 in sales with pretty much all of it nearly profit. It was like 90% margins or something. I don't know the exact margins, but it was high margins. $38,000 in those 6 months. And that may seem like a lot, but just by changing one thing, the product that I was selling, which innately changed the product still sold just as many units as the other things, but they had bigger profit margins and I charged a lot more by charging a premium. I went from that to 138,000, I believe, in sales the next one. So next 6 months was that to 138,000. And multiple different stores. And then we built the pet bed store and everything else. So charge a premium. Okay, number 3, you need to learn about churn. I'm not going to explain it here, everything to do with churn, but there's so much. Churn is essentially, because you're a subscription-based product for a part of your business, people have to sign up for a reoccurring subscription. A percentage of those people will leave each month, meaning they were customers and then they leave. Think of it like watching Netflix and then they cancel their subscription. Your goal is to reduce churn. Once you acquire a certain customer base, it's actually far more profitable to focus on reducing churn rather than focusing on bringing in new customers. If you can save if you can save one customer every month, sometimes that's far more profitable than bringing on 3 new customers. Because if you can save that one customer and get them to continue to stay on, okay, but you bring 3 on for 1 month and then they quit, okay, your time was better spent focusing on that one customer. Because by the 4th month now, it's more profitable to have focused on them. So it's very important that you focus on churn and understanding churn. There's heaps of different books you can look up, heaps of different readings for churn, and Alex Hormozi does some great videos on it too. Number 4, you need to have a HTU, a high ticket upsell. You need to have something there because a very small percentage of your customers, and understand, you say, well, who would buy that? A very small percentage of people would. Not everyone is meant to buy this, but you need to have a high ticket upsell. And a high ticket upsell, okay, you can have different levels to this. This will add massive margins to your business because remember, you're already profitable here getting the customers on board. So the people who buy your high ticket upsells, that's all 100% margin added on top. So if 1 in 100 buys a Zoom call from you for $500, and it could be a 15-minute Zoom call where they tug off or whatever in the Onlyfans industry, okay? That's $500 straight up profit you just made for that 15 minutes. 1 in 100 customers. Once you got 300, 400, 500 customers, okay, if they're buying that every month as well, you've got 5 times 5 because you've got 500 customers. 1 in 100 is going to buy. You've got an additional $2,500 a month coming in. Now, that shouldn't be your only upsell. Then you can have, used panties or used whatever. And you can have those for $500, $600, $1,000, however much you want to charge for those things. You can legitimately charge $1,000 for these things. People will pay that money, okay? So you get 5 out of the 100 as well that also buy the premium. So now you've added $2,500 on top. Plus, you've added $5,000 on top. You've added an additional $7,500 a month. Okay, 6 figures nearly. I think that actually adds up to pretty much 6 figures a year profit just from your high ticket upsell. Okay, next thing, collect data. This is the last one. Number 5 is collecting data. You need to collect external data. When people join, you need to get their email addresses, you need to get their IG handles, you need to get their phone numbers, you need to get as many points of data as possible. Whether you have a system like Kajabi where it'll automatically store it, or you have a website with an opt-in page, or you just collect it externally and plug it into an Excel sheet, that's fine. You need to collect data. Why do big companies, why are they so focused on data? Big companies will buy email lists for millions of dollars. Data is the most important thing. You look at, people will buy website domains that get a certain amount of traffic each year for millions upon millions of dollars. People will buy these things because of the fact that it comes with a certain amount of data that they can use. And people understand when you become bigger in business how important data is. So I've dropped some bangers. I've done them quick for you today. I want you to, let me recap so we cement them in your head. The 5 things, okay? 10 hours a day. You need to clock in the hours and you need to do this every single day of the year. You need to charge a premium. It's very, very important. You need to learn about churn and in fact just learn about your business and OnlyFans in general every single day. You need to have your high ticket upsell and you need to collect your data. I wanted to make sure I got them in the right order. That's what you have to do, and as well as that, you have to hit subscribe and join the Hive Mind because that's going to fast track your success. And when it comes to actual marketing and the actual strategies you use to make money, okay, it's all taught in there in the masterclass as well as e-com and everything else. So join the Hive, hit subscribe, and I'll see you all in tomorrow's video. Paka paka.